had an ambitious approach to it. We call it internally as 10x or moonshots. We try to work on things which, the criteria we think is we want to work on things which people will use every day. It will apply to billions of people, and it solves a real problem for them. So that's the bar. So anything we try to do, we think of it that way, and so we aim high. We try to use deep computer science to anything we approach so that we can have a differentiated approach to solving it. You want to aim high enough that you fail, a few times. I think that's the natural part of the process. In fact, Larry used to say, if you work on really difficult things, you're better off because you have no competition. Others aren't working on that difficult a problem. And even if you fail, you end up doing something great in the process. And so I think that's the philosophy which has guided us all through these years. I think one of the, for all the great things about the Indian educational system, I think there's a lot of pressure to follow set lanes throughout your career. You're in high school, you're thinking about college. I get very surprised people come to IITs and immediately they are thinking about IIMs and so on. I think it's important to get real-world experience. And if you take the US, for example, at a place like Stanford, most students don't choose their majors till their final year. So people explore different things and find what they're really passionate about. So I think those are all good things to aspire to. I think I would like to see people value creativity, value experience of doing things, taking risks, and academics is important, but it is not as important as it's also made out to be. Getting into an elite institution doesn't guarantee success. It matters a lot, but it doesn't guarantee success. And I think it's important to keep that perspective in life. And life is a long road, and so you want to take it at the right pace and enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't need to be even in engineering. I think it's important to remember there are many different ways you can approach things, and what matters most is loving what you're doing and trying to do well at it. So. Working the real world, I would say, it is important to be well-rounded. It's important to try different things. Take some risks. I would encourage people to follow their passions a little bit more. I think there's a lot of pressure in today's system. I get surprised people start preparing for IIT in their 8th grades, and that's a bit shocking to me. I hope as people are approaching things, they are really taking the time to doing things in a deeper way. Understanding things deeper, learning by doing things, and I think it's important to remember it's a long road. Setbacks actually don't matter. I think a lot of times when I was younger, people would say, this person didn't get into this college or something, and that's the end of the road. I mean, life is so different from that. And so I think it's important to, keep your hopes, keep your dreams, and try to follow them. And I think most of how life plays out is up to you, not up to what happens outside of you. And I think it's important to keep that in mind and take the long-term view. When you're trying to run something at the scale of Google, we have now over 60,000 people, and you rely on other strong leaders. I think a lot of what I do is, I have an outstanding leadership team. It's learning to let go and really empowering people, at all levels of the organization, and trusting them to doing the right thing. And as a leader, a lot of your job is to make those people successful. It's less about trying to be successful and more about making sure you have good people, and your work is to remove barriers, remove roadblocks for them, so that they can be successful in what they do. And so that's how I've always thought about it. And I've also valued teamwork quite a bit. And I think it's really important to build organizations where people actually want to work together. Everything comes out of that. So setting up collaborative cultures is another big thing I try to focus on. in the 80s, mid 80s, personal computers came into being. 10 years later, the internet came into play. 10 years later, smartphones came into play. So in 10 years, things shift around so much. I'm not sure what I'll be doing in 10 years, but the thing which still keeps me going is the desire to build products which will be used by billions of users and makes a difference for them. Hopefully, I still have a chance to do that 10 years from now. Almost always want to feel that all through your life, because that means you're working with people who are very, very good, and and that's really important. So you always, if you feel very comfortable in what you're doing, I don't think you're pushing yourself enough, and so I think you always want to strive to be in environments where you feel the people around you are a little bit better than you are.